All right, everybody, it's time for a rooting guide post-mortem. And I gotta say, another week where a decent amount goes the way the Seahawks needed it to go. The Seahawks couldn't take care of their business, but they had a decent amount of business taken care of by these other teams. So at least we got that. The Monday night game's on top here because it was the most recent game to be played. It's still technically Monday when I'm recording this, but this game didn't mean anything to us whatsoever, so I'm not even really tripping on that. Just ignore it. Titans Steelers, I argued we wanted the Steelers to win because that game is more likely to be with stakes involved, and the Titans are likely to be in rip it down mode by the time we play them. So it mattered more. The Steelers would have more wins, but it was really, really, really thin. I kind of honestly, I think you could make an argument that this Thursday night game didn't mean anything to the Seahawks as well. So both this Monday night and this Thursday night game are just kind of whatever, no stakes, very, very low stakes at best. So let's jump ahead to Sunday here and take a look at some of these games that actually might matter to the Seahawks. And I'll tell you, we're not really going to find it in the early game, the Dolphins Chiefs. Not really anything to root for there. Both teams are good. Both teams are almost certainly making the playoffs. They're in the AFC. We don't play either team. I got nothing. I got not a thing. So we're going to have to keep going here into the 10 a.m. window where we do find some relief in the form of the Vikings beating the Falcons against all odds. Josh Dobbs, no idea what the Vikings playbook is. No idea what the name of his teammates are. No idea what the heck is going on. Goes in there and wins the game for the Minnesota Vikings. Is this a good result? I think it is, because I do not think the Vikings are going to be able to keep this up. I don't. If they do, then it was kind of a neutral result because both teams were 4-4 entering the game. But the Vikings and the Falcons are both teams that are, as of right now, wild card contenders in the NFC along with the Seahawks. So I do not think that the Vikings are going to be able to keep winning. They're down to now effectively their third string quarterback. Although I do want to say, obviously, Dobbs is probably going to be better than Jaren Hall was going to be. Even I have to acknowledge that Dobbs has been actually pretty good as a starter so far this year. So there is that element at play, but the Vikings also, they still need to get Justin Jefferson back. We don't know when that's going to happen. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the Vikings are not going to be able to keep this up, and they're going to take care of themselves down the line with more losses. So therefore, them winning here is good. Because even though the Falcons are obviously sliding right now, and the Falcons are having some real problems, I still think their easy schedule and their solid foundation makes them a potential problem down the line. Not right now, but down the line this season, you're going to look up and wonder why this awful Atlanta team is hanging around 500. You're like, they don't have a quarterback. They don't have a coach. They're not giving the ball to Bijan enough. How are they 500? It's because their offensive line is good and their defense is, I mean, not this week, but generally speaking, I still think the Falcons are going to hang around because of their schedule. So them dropping a game like this, I think, is a positive result. Cardinals Browns. I actually want the Cardinals to win a game at some point. So this was not the preferred result, but I mean, if you watch the Cardinals, if you watch Clayton Tune play, there was no way they were ever going to win this game. So why even spend a nanosecond of your time getting upset about it? Like, what are we doing here? Come on. But yeah, Cardinals get shut out. Rams Packers though, this one, Rams pretty much buried at this point, 20-3. Obviously they didn't have Stafford. They may not have Stafford this week. Looks like he'll be back for the Seahawks game. Well, no, wait a minute. I'm sorry. They're going into their bye week now, hoping to get Stafford back for the Seahawks game. Excuse me. But yeah, 3-6. The Rams still have to play the Niners again, and we know they're going to lose that game. They always do. It's starting to be curtains. It's starting to look like curtains for LA. So we just need to handle our business against them in a couple weeks, and that'll basically be that. So obviously, both of these teams are fringe, like very fringe wildcard contenders in the NFC, but Rams are in the division. I'd rather they just go away. The sooner the better. And I think the Packers are going to take care of themselves because they're not good either. So, yeah, good result there. Happy about that one. Commanders, Patriots, almost got it. Couldn't quite land it. Couldn't quite stick the landing here. Commanders stay alive in the wild card race. Now, I seriously and sincerely doubt that a team that just blew up their defense trading Chase Young and Montez Sweat, a defense that, by the way, was already not good, and then turns around and makes some kind of a run. Like, that would be... That's a lot to ask. But technically speaking, they're hanging around. The good news is the Patriots are going to stay in line for a top pick, keeping those top picks away from the NFC. So, silver linings, I guess you could say. A little bit of a silver lining there. But, yeah. Hopefully the Commanders are a team that we can help flush away next week when the Seahawks play them. Bears, Saints, came close. Bears hung around, hung tough, did some good things, but didn't happen. Couldn't quite get it done. Saints continue to hang around in the playoff picture. I think that they're actually, they're leading their division now, which is where I expected them to be in fairness. But that draft pick is looking a little less appealing. That third-round pick we're going to pick off from them in all likelihood. So, Saints are not going to quite go away. As of right now, they are leading their division. I think they will win that division in all likelihood. And games like this are keeping their heads above water. Next one, however, was glorious. The Houston Texans take it away from Tampa Bay, pushing Tampa Bay down hard. 3-5. And again, these are some very winnable games they're punting on. They probably should have beaten Buffalo. They should have won this game. Like, it's going to be harder for them to hang around in the wildcard race if they can't beat these soft teams like Houston. So this was big. Shout out to CJ Stroud and the incredible football he's playing so far. He is everything that I was hoping he would be in the best case scenario when he entered the draft. Based on what I saw from him in college. I love the way he plays. I love what he's doing out there. Awesome, awesome stuff. And again, Houston has given their first round pick to Arizona this year. So them being decent is big to keep Arizona's pick down a little bit. So great win all around. Tampa Bay continues to fade in the NFC. And it's really starting to look like there's going to be some NFC playoff team that has like 8 wins, 8 and 9 or something. Colts, Panthers, I mean, it's really hard to get excited about the Panthers losing a game because it's AFC on NFC when they're already so bad. But this is also going to give the Cardinals some competition for the top pick. Now, the Panthers send their pick to the Bears, but it doesn't really matter. The point is, we're trying to keep that top pick away from Arizona. And if Carolina keeps losing, their pick, which, again, going to Chicago, is going to be right at the front of the line. So I guess that is something we can kind of get excited about. That's the upshot here, really, because it's not like Carolina's going to come back and compete for a wild card spot, right? Like, let's not be goofy here. Giants and Raiders. I did say we wanted the Raiders to win for basically the same reason we wanted the Colts to win. AFC on NFC, as meaningless as that is. And we want the Giants to pick as high as possible so that way Arizona doesn't. Looks like the Giants, by the way, really are... I have a very hard time seeing that Giants team win a game the rest of the season. Very hard time. I don't know where the win comes from, so we may be seeing a 2-15 team that does pick number 1 overall. It's times like this when you kind of realize you shouldn't have come back from 20 points down against the Cardinals in week 2, I guess. So, I'm going to call that good. Cowboys, Eagles, I think what happened with the Seahawks this week makes this clearly the correct result that we wanted. With the Seahawks getting beat like that, it's far more realistic now that we're going to end up a wildcard team. I'm sorry, but it is. We can still win the division because the Niners are having their own problems. But much more realistic is that we're in the wildcard race with the Cowboys. And the Cowboys... more they get pushed down, the easier it becomes for Seattle. If we're going to get in a race with Philadelphia later this year, then so be it. But I very much doubt that, guys. We play Philly in Philly. And I made a video kind of talking about this yesterday. these mobile dual threat quarterbacks are, we're not defending the run very well against them at all. We're not playing them that well. So I look at that and I go, yeah, we definitely want Philly to just run away with that division and punish the Cowboys as much as possible. So I think that's a good result. And hopefully the Cowboys can keep losing because they are the main competition in the NFC with the Seahawks for a wild card spot. And that third wild card spot feels like it's going to go to some very lackluster team, like an 8-win Vikings team, 8-win Falcons team, something like that. Bills, Bengals, there wasn't really much here that I could find, if I recall correctly. That was the one where I think I just said, whoever you want to win, just be chill and go for it. All right, that's about it. That's all I got for this week's Rooting Guide Post-Mortem. So it was not a great week, but a good week, I think. The Falcons losing, I think, is big. The Rams losing was very nice. And we got the double whammy of the Texans scoring that big comeback win. The Eagles beating the Cowboys was nice. We could have used a little bit more, but I'll take what I can get. So that's your Rooting Guide Post-Mortem. See you guys later today. Go Hawks. If the Seahawks aren't going to help themselves, then we sure do appreciate other teams helping us. All right, see you guys later.